I understand. We're all on, okay. So good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, May 14th, 2020. This is our weekly special meeting, special in the sense that it's our actually regular Human Resources meeting to consider personnel changes. The time is 11:07 a.m. Attending are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Fillios. Do we have any changes to the agenda? I see none. So the first item, and it's a potential action item, and it is the compensation for combination of elections, county assistance manager position after trial period for the auditor's office. And it does call for a potential executive session. Should we, Sylvia, go right ahead, please? Do you think we should go into exec?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Can I have a motion, please?
I move that we enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061B.
Second the motion.
discussion. So we are about to exit executive session. Is there a motion?
We don't have a clerk yet.
Oh, sorry.
There she is.
Nancy? Okay, so once again, we're about to enter into executive session.
Exit.
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 Okay, exit executive session. I should point out that as we were in executive session, we were joined by Deputy Civil Prosecuting Attorney Darren Murphy. I failed to mention that when we entered. So is there a motion to exit?
I move that we exit executive session with no decisions being made.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And so we've exited executive session. Is there a motion at this point regarding the proposed increase?
Do you make it relative to the position or relative to the individual?
Yeah, Darren, how do you want the motion to read? Do you want it just specifically to the position or to the individual?
So make it, well, to the position and then the dollar amount that you guys tentatively have agreed on.
Okay. So I will make a motion, therefore, that with regard to the position of, which I guess is a combined election and county assistance manager, that we approve an increase in the amount of $61,127 per year, which is equivalent to just under 10% annually.
Not an increase of a.
No, increase to, yes, I thought what I said, $61,127 per year.
Okay. I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 2, request for pay grade review for booking clerk, employee, sheriff's office. I presume we will need another exec, is that true? Or will we, Captain Deak?
Do it without discussing the person. We can discuss the position.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Okay. Do you want to?
Deak with the sheriff's office, Captain Holacek brought the request forward. It is a custody division matter, but it is the sheriff's office. And I'm familiar with this person and their work. The person in question was hired back in July of last year as a booking clerk, and an oversight was made for the position entry. The person came with over 20 years of experience in the medical field doing similar type of work. It wasn't until they started their probationary period after training, which is the way the sheriff's policy reads on that. So after we were already in the budget year, this current budget year with their pay, and I think there was an adjustment made for that position late last year. Anyways, the person was brought in at base pay for that pay range, and they were eligible for 95% based on our compensation policy. They finished probation. We think it's the perfect time to make that adjustment for that person. We have salary savings still in that. There's 3 unfilled positions, like positions, at the sheriff's office. But we were requesting to move that person from base pay to 95% of the market, which in this case is $15.08.
And what's the current rate of pay? Okay.
Thank you.
So did this person accept the job with the going wage?
Yes.
Okay.
That was our fault for making that conditional offer at that. It wasn't looked at, whoever made that conditional offer at the time. I wasn't part of that, but it was an oversight by the sheriff's office for sure.
I don't see what the impact, I see annual increase 4,800. So
$4,800.
wouldn't that increase the overall jail's budget by that much going forward for 21?
Correct.
Okay.
How long have they
And
been?
the position was budgeted for, we have 3 other positions that are budgeted for, that are unfilled right now. Does that make sense?
typically.
Yeah, it shouldn't have a overall impact.
Captain Dietz, how long has the individual been with us?
Since July of last year.
So
There was
July.
a training period, and our probation doesn't start until after that, so it looks like we've been there a long time.
Do you normally bring them up to 95%
It's
after
usually on
probation?
hire, Yeah, it's usually upon hire, if they meet the criteria.
Okay. Go ahead, Sylvia, please.
Policy allows you to hire at 95% of market. And if you want to go more than that, you have to come before the board. And the way we budget salaries is at market of the position. So
And the reason we're,
the funds are basically.
yeah, the reason we're before the board today is because this person was hired last year, and they were brought in at base rate. So their FY '20 position is budgeted for at the rate they're making now. But we still have 3 vacancies, is what I'm saying. If we brought in the next person at 95% of market, we still have 2 more after that. Money's there to do it.
Have you been interviewing for those other positions, or do you?
Yeah, we had 2 in backgrounds that we thought, and they didn't pass polygraph.
So you're probably months out at this point, aren't you?
The
Okay.
remainder of the year.
Okay. Why was the individual, curious, hired at under 95%? I'm not being critical, by the way, I'm
That's a
just,
great question, but I don't know who made the offer for them to come in at base wage.
Okay.
She easily met the criteria.
did you, okay. Sylvia, do you have thoughts?
It falls within policy at 95% of the market, and that's what they're asking for from this day forward.
She's worth her weight, the person is worth their weight in gold already. They have done 3 or 4 other collateral assignments, they pick them up very fast.
Okay.
It's a good ask.
Leslie, thoughts?
Well, I just have a problem with, midstream kind of things that you could have budgeted for in '21 and made sure that she's getting her pay raise in '21 kind of thing. To me, this opens up a can of worms for all departments to say, hey, well, we hired this person at minimum because that's all they were allowed to do at the time, and they're, experienced or they're doing great or whatever. So I'm concerned about precedents. I'm not saying that this person doesn't, isn't earning that at all. I just don't like the mid-season kind of thing.
Sylvia, do you have
The
it?
budget impact for '21, even if she were to remain at the same wage from now through the entire budget year of '21, it still wouldn't affect because she's budgeted for at 95% of market, which is what we're asking. So that same budget for these open positions moving forward is still the same. But yeah, I agree with what you said. It's a mid-year adjustment for someone.
Okay, so what you're saying is even though you brought her in below 95, you had actually budgeted the position at 95%. And I see Dina nodding as well. Bill, did you want to?
I don't like mid-course corrections, but looking at the budget the way it was structured, I don't have a problem with it. I'd vote for it.
Sylvia, your thoughts?
I think it's fair to the employee. We've seen a couple, maybe not specifically this type of scenario, come before the board. And they've indicated the extensive experience that they have. I would just indicate, let's make sure when we make those offers, we really look at their experience to begin with, so we're not coming back to the board midstream.
It's not fair to the employee.
But to Leslie's point, how many, I don't know if you can put a figure to this, how many employees do we have, say, perhaps in the past year that have been hired below 95%? Because, are we going to get a rash of similar requests?
There are some departments that hire at the minimum, and that's their philosophy. Where other departments really utilize our policy and will come in at 95% of the market if they've got at least 5 years of experience. And if you can, I'd say we should be hiring people at least at 95% of the market if that's the experience they have on board. It's a good policy, and it helps us attract employees to the agency.
Okay. When people come in at under 95%, are they typically budgeted at the 95% level?
But she,
I mean,
Or
Dina?
Any vacant position is budgeted at market.
Oh, at market.
To give that flexibility.
Okay,
So all
okay.
open positions are sitting at market.
Thank you.
So the only thing is, this particular position, since she started in 2019 for the FY '20, she would have been at what she's making, her position.
Correct. So she did get the 2% for the wage study because she was eligible for that, but that is.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm still not on board with it. However, something that I want to discuss with the board is bonuses due to salary savings and due to the COVID thing and people stepping up and doing more than their share. So I'm willing to look at bonuses for this type of situation. Does that make sense? So, I don't know if the board would entertain that at all, but if, in my mind, if you wanted to come back and, close to the end of the year and say, into the fiscal year and say, okay, this is how much savings this employee, you know what her circumstance is, we would have hired or had that mistake not happened, and this is why we think she deserves a bonus, and definitely bring her forward at the proper amount for FY '21. That's just my suggestion, that's just where I'm at, so.
I actually agree with Leslie on the question of bonuses in general, but with regard to this specific situation, I'm fine with it. Okay, you budgeted for it, we brought her in under, I'm not saying we're setting precedent here, because from that going forward, I may be telling everybody no. But I think I'm encountering this kind of for the first time. But I do think Leslie has a point. Maybe we should be addressing these situations with bonus. But in this case, I'm okay with it.
So I just want one clarification. So because she was already hired in
right ahead.
2019, going forward for the 2020 budget year, her position was actually budgeted at what she was making, not market. Okay, so this is an increase for FY '21. So I just wanted to make that clear. Now, we
You're
understand.
saying that was a mistake.
But what we're,
Hiring at the wage that she was hired at was a mistake.
was a
And it
mistake.
wasn't at her fault, she didn't know.
Okay, so in other words,
It came to our attention. We reviewed this as she's starting her probationary period. We review people and it was.
so if I
our
understand.
mistake at hiring.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure I understand. So basically, what you're saying, I think, is she should have been hired at 95% and was hired less.
Yes.
Okay, I'm okay with it. Do you want to make a motion, or? It's okay.
No, go ahead, no. I think
All right.
95.
Okay, with regard to the specific request for a pay grade review for the bookings clerk employee within our sheriff's organization, I will make a motion that we take the annual, I'll look at it annually, and this is the unloaded salary from $27,389, which was at the rate of 13.168 per hour, realizing that the individual was hired less than she should have been at the 95% level, taking the wage up to 15.082 per hour, which is $31,371 annually. End of motion.
Complicated. I will second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Nay, not because it's the individual who deserves it, but just because I don't want to set precedent.
Chairman Fillios,
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, Captain Dietz. Okay, item number 3. We okay? Okay. Update on employee on paid leave, public defender. Ann? We will need executive
Sure.
session,
So,
okay.
I move we enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061B.
I second the motion.
Okay, then, so the time is now 11:46. We are about to exit executive session. Is there a motion?
I move we exit executive session with staff to proceed as discussed.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried.
Was Dina out there? No?
No,
Okay.
no, I didn't see
So
Dina.
you're going to handle the policy? Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Ann.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the final item on our agenda, that's before public comment, of course, is draft telecommuting policy and procedure. Our HR Director, Sylvia Proud.
So what you have before you is a proposed draft of a telecommuting policy and procedure for consideration. I developed this based on a couple of things. Within our continuity of operations plan, it indicates under the HR component, we're supposed to be developing policies, and telecommute/telework is one of them. And also because we've been kind of in this pandemic, we have been in a pandemic mode, and we have instituted some telework from home. Each department has handled it the way they needed to continue operations within their department. Legal has done a review of this. In developing the draft, I looked at ICRIMP to see what they had available, as well as the Society of Human Resource Management, which has wonderful policies. It's an HR group that we're all members of. And truly, telecommuting is just a different kind of work arrangement, allowing you to work from home or off-site from your main location. And the way the policy was drafted is it's supposed to be flexible. You can either have a set schedule where you telework maybe part of your week, your whole week, all your time, or for a specific project or during a pandemic, those type of situations. The one thing that it's not an alternative to daycare. So people, if they need accommodations for daycare, that should be handled in a different manner. But if they are in a telework arrangement, they should be working, not doing daycare of their children, typically. The benefits of a telework arrangement, it's a good retention and recruitment tool. It helps us with space needs in the organization, and it's a work-life balance for people as well, which is a nice benefit. We can also utilize it for FMLA. So maybe an employee can come back to work, and we could offer them telework arrangement till they're 100%. So it just helps both the employer get the work done and the employee to be able to do some work from home. The policy is written so that it's at the discretion of the elected official or department head to determine whether that arrangement is something that they want to institute within their offices. And it's very specific to a job. Some of our positions you really can't telework. Some of them you can't. And that's just the nature of our positions that we have here. We also recommend that if individuals are trying this telework, that they do it on a trial basis, maybe 3 months, see if it works, and then determine from there anything more long-term or not. Within the policy, we make sure that they know they have to comply with all county policies. They're just at a different site. All county policies and procedures, and that all the employees pretty much, it's not an entitlement, it could be taken from an employee at any time, and also that we're still at will except for those for-cause positions at the sheriff's office. So that was just a quick general overview. In terms of the equipment, right now, the way I see arrangements have been happening for this pandemic, just specifically like in HR, some people have county equipment. We had some laptops people could take. Some people had good units at home, their own equipment. So all of that's factored into this draft policy. Questions?
So are we going to, is this going to be, I'm sorry, is it your plan that we adopt this on a county-wide basis, Sylvia, or leave it up to each individual EO?
Well, we would adopt it as a county-wide policy, but each elected official would have the
implement.
discretion of whether to offer it or not.
Okay, fair enough.
And we made that very specific within the purpose and also within the scope, because we want, it needs to work even for the department heads. At the department head level, is this gonna work in their area or not? It isn't like, we've got this policy, everyone has to
Understood.
offer it
Okay.
and approve it, sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't call, the agenda does not call for an action item, so I guess we wouldn't be voting on it. So
No, we'd
Yeah.
bring
Where do you
it
see us?
before a business meeting.
We
Yeah.
could bring it, I wanted
Okay.
to introduce it to you with the draft. Initially, I thought, well, I'll just do a temporary telecommuting policy tied to the, our continuity of operations and continuity of government plan. But it really is something that I think is working well in some areas, and knowing what our space needs are and stuff, that it might work in some areas more regularly than just special project or case by case. So I could, if I wanted you both, all three of you to have the opportunity to really read it, ask questions, that's why I didn't make it an action item at this time.
Okay, fine.
Very
I
good,
don't-
good.
But I like it. Just scanning it, I like it. And it makes perfect sense to have a policy.
Yeah, I've read through it, and I'm fine with bringing it before a business meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll be ready by then anyway. You okay, Bill?
Yep.
Okay.
Darren, did you have anything to add to it?
No, Sylvia, you covered it. The most important factor is that each elected has the discretion to follow it or not.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Thank
And we'll
you.
bring it to a business meeting. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sylvia. Okay, that was our final agenda item. Public comment? None. 11:53, meeting adjourned. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Darren.
Hey, Darren, can I ask you?